Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us here today. Good to see you, Rusty and Stacy, already here in chat. And it's pretty late or early for Marco, depending on how you look at it. Marco is already in Monday morning. I know when we had the night race at Atlanta this last week, Marco had to leave to get ready for work before the end of the race. So, pre-race ceremonies were underway before we went to this commercial break. So we should be going green probably here in the next 10 to 15 minutes. But let me show you guys what I'm looking at. This is what I'm concerned with today. My green screen. No, we have some weather in the area. Thank goodness we're not racing at Bristol right now. We have some weather in the area. It was raining here earlier, so the track is cleaned off from rubber, so they'll have to spin the first two stages putting down more rubber. Might see a higher rate of tire wear, but also you could see a pop-up shower. NASCAR probably has the rain tires at the track. For the truck race, I heard someone say they did have the rain tires there, so I assume we do for this race as well. But that's what's on my mind right now. Yesterday, during the truck race, we were talking about who could possibly win today. And since we have a very small sample size here at North Wilkesboro for these cars and these drivers, my best guess was, well, you know, maybe Blaney. And he's on the pole, so it made me look pretty smart. Momentarily. I'll be proven wrong here shortly, perhaps. See what you guys are saying. See, I'm pretty caught up with the chat. Stacy's trying to get an ice cream date out of Christian. Good luck with that. Shouldn't be too difficult, though. Everybody likes ice cream. Christian, we are not looking for Polo. We're looking for Marco. Marco may be asleep. He may have regretted staying up last weekend. All right. Let's see. Do we have a time of green flag? It's supposed to go green at 7:14 p.m. That is Eastern time. So I don't know. We still have several vehicles on track right now. I don't think we're going to make the 7:14 green flag time. Yeah, NASCAR's drying the track right now, so we have a little bit to go before we have some on-track activity today. A Marco signal. Summon our Italian friend. Good to see you, King. He's had a rough day. is a battery-powered lawnmower, and it shut off halfway through. Yeah, battery stuff is sure is convenient until you have to recharge the battery completely. That's not great. Marco, there he is. Rusty was just talking about you. And here he is. Not disappointing. How much do they have to actually dry the track? They say engines will be fired at 7:20 p.m. Eastern. So we have 8 minutes until engines are fired. So probably 18 minutes until we go green. Not too bad. Let's take a look at J-Ski. So I'm on the race page. Green flag time's a bit off since they just updated that. But let's take a look and see. Fuel window, 180 laps. Time. So we'll hardly need, like, we might have a green flag stop there in the final stage, might, but with a caution or two, even the caution for the stage, we might not need a green flag pit stop. So it was raining pretty hard earlier today. I saw a few people that were there at the track tweeting about it. First points race here at North Wilkesboro in 30 years, 1996, 2026 now. That's crazy. That's as old as J-Ski. Let's go home and see what stories we have here. Lane Riggs uncertain of 2027 plans, hoping for a Cup Series opportunity. TNT focused on improving NASCAR broadcast. Saw an article that said Amazon and TNT both wished they had bought more races. Maybe they could buy like 3 or 4 races from Fox and 3 or 4 races from NBC. Heard this talked about during the truck race yesterday. Elliott Sadler going to drive the Ram truck at Richmond. Hopefully they're running a bit better by Richmond. They've had their truck in the wind tunnel. So perhaps that second generation of truck, the faster truck, hopefully going to be competitive. Hopefully that'll roll out by then. I would like to see Sadler run well. That'd be pretty cool. Brad Keselowski says recovery from broken leg progressing. That's crazy. I remember early in the season, Brad was walking around in the pre-race ceremonies, driver introductions with a cane. That was crazy. Did that say Blaney and Chastain at the rear for unimproved adjustments? I don't know. Did it? Blaney will now start at the rear, so... Oh, power steering issues. So that's unimproved adjustment, I guess. Wow. That was our pole sitter. Let's get that next. Let's look at our leaderboard. Let's get this adjusted. got Blaney up there. Our defending winner, Bell, up there. I'm not shocked to see Ty Gibbs up there. One of his best runs was at Bristol. Obviously, it's a very different track, but it's also a short track. There we go. We have checked in for points already, but that's a good reminder for everyone else. If you are a member of the NASCAR Fan Rewards program, go ahead and check in for today's race. Get those 50 free points and hopefully build up enough to redeem them for free tickets, merchandise, gift cards, whatever. Oh, yeah, Carson Hocevar, he was at, I think the ESPYs or something. I don't know where he was. Times 100 most influential people or so. It was some event for like celebrities and sports stars. And Carson Hocevar met LeBron James. See if I can find something on that. Oh yeah, he met Prince Harry as well. So I think it was a Times event. Yeah, at the Time 100 Sports Gala in New York City, where both were honored in Time's 100 most influential people in sports. LeBron, he's an equity owner in RFK, I believe. Or Fenway Sports Group, I should say, the parent company of RFK. So technically, LeBron's involved in the sport from a monetary standpoint, even if ever so slightly. Here we go. So there's Carson and LeBron James. Let's go over to his Twitter. So you can't hardly see it in this photo, but that's Carson Hocevar and Prince Harry. Carson's getting around. Carson and LeBron James, you can tell here, LeBron's a big guy. Carson's a big guy too. That's insane. If you see Denny Hamlin's reply to that tweet. As always, LeBron James can't live up to Michael Jordan's standards. That's wild. The Met Gala, victory lane at Talladega, and now in the same room as LeBron James and Prince Harry. That's motion. Check in with you guys. Kim Kardashian shall receive a penalty as well. Very nice, Marco. Okay, King. Thankfully, we're not on Twitch, or they would take us down for that. Whose forehead are you talking about? There are some big ones we pulled up. Unimproved adjustments to the hair of Hocevar. He needs someone to do his hair professionally. Or, you know, just get with whoever did Jeff Gordon's hair back in the day. Because this and the Met Gala, Hocevar has looked like a kid going to prom. Come on, you're hanging out with Prince Harry and LeBron James. You gotta at least take a little effort. Has the race started yet? No, they were drying the track. So we just started engines. Oh, the IndyCar race at Nashville got delayed because of the World Cup. That's crazy. Oh, no, I'm not gonna creep on Carson Hocevar and his possible girlfriend. Oh, King's hooking you up. Unconscious. If you follow that set of instructions posted in the chat, that'll help you out. Hopefully. 99% of the time, that website will work pretty well. Setting the field by metric is so bad. I understand doing it for when qualifying gets rained out, but then setting the next week's qualifying order off of the metric, it just keeps guys down. They have one bad week and suddenly they're stuck. Going out and qualifying early, the track isn't really prepared yet, and you're out there running a half second slower than what guys in worse cars are running just due to where you went out. Yeah, Marco, he's involved in going fast. I believe he's involved in very fast motorcycles. All right, cars are rolling finally, thank goodness. This is already going to be a late night, and they've delayed it now about 15 minutes or so. Thankfully, Wilkesboro is a pretty short track, so they always dry a lot quicker than Talladega. Stacy's got you signed up for points. That's good. I think it's 3,000 maybe for cup tickets. I think these holographic stickers that are on all the NASCAR merchandise, I think you can scan those and redeem them for points. I have a bunch of them sitting around. I just haven't done it. Thank you guys for liking the stream. Glad to see you guys. If it's anything like last night, which I don't know if it will be, this would be a really fun race. Or yesterday afternoon, I guess you could say. It was an early race. But it's 450 laps. If we can get single filed out, we can click off quite a few laps really quickly. Let me take a look at the in-season challenge bracket. Semi-final round here. This could have been Chase Elliott versus Alex Bowman, but Larson just can't drive at plate tracks for some reason. Chase Elliott here versus Todd Gilliland. It's not impossible. It's just unlikely. And then Blaney and Bell could be a toss-up. Blaney's going to have to start from the rear, make up a lot of ground. A lot. Blaney may actually have to play some strategy here. And honestly, just try not to go down a lap here in the first stage. Can I show the entire starting field for some seconds? Yeah, we can. We're just getting caught up here quickly. A lot to go over before the race. I can't show the entire field at once. This is the best you'll get. King has a whole family to deal with. So when he drops out for like an hour or two, I understand why. He has two little ones that are very active. One's still more in potato mode, but that's progressing quickly. Let's look at the rear of the field. Blaney will be dropping back to the rear of the field. And Chastain as well, giving up a pretty good starting spot. That'll move Ty Gibbs up to the front. And Bell also to the front row. So Gibbs front row. Hocevar starting third with that adjustment. And that'll move Joey Logano into the top 10 for a starting spot. Let's see. Bowman back here in 25th. How can he fare today? Brad Keselowski. He did relatively well here in his first appearance. I believe he won one of the heat races. He has a lot of work to do here. So a lot of the guys that wrecked out last week. Really bad metric position. Starting pretty deep in the field. Ryan Blaney, my dad said that his mustache might be some kind of a alien parasite or some kind of a other life form. It's massive. It looks like he has a gerbil on his upper lip. I'm not saying I dislike it, but it's massive. Only on the face. That's crazy. NASCAR got cars on track before IndyCar. That's also kind of frustrating. I'll have to pull open the feed of the IndyCar race and some other monitor. I hate when IndyCar and NASCAR go head-to-head. I understand why they did it that way today, but it is what it is. Let's see if that 24 All-Pro scheme can run well today. The last time he was in this scheme, I think, was Sonoma, and it was horrible. Research Mr. Holmes. Good heavens. Good heavens. I don't need to do any further search. The Google AI caught me up pretty quickly. My dog is being very well behaved right now. The garbage men are outside being quite loud. He's investigating, but he hasn't started barking yet. I think he's catching up finally. Does Goodyear control pressures? No. They do set a baseline. Like they say, this is the minimum recommended. So let's say for this track, their minimum recommended is 17 PSI in the right sides or left sides or whatever. The teams know, like, okay, we should not have a tire failure at that level. If we go below it, that's on us. And a lot of the teams will still go below that recommended. And sometimes that's when you see them run into issues. So if we see a lot of failures, sometimes Goodyear on their social media will be like, hey, we told these teams to keep it above 22 PSI, and they didn't. That's on them. That's not on us. They are not mandatory. The teams have free reign to do pretty much whatever they want with the tire pressures. And sometimes that helps them find speed, and other times they pay the price for it. Yeah, I haven't even looked at the weather. Chastain fell into the back right now because of that penalty. Showing that on TV at the moment. I haven't even looked at the weather in Nashville. I know there's a ton of rain in the area. It's just, you know, big waves of scattered showers coming through right now. That's crazy. There's a little break right now, but there's more behind it. It's less. And the darker it gets, the more of these scattered showers will go away. Like, more of them will. So it may be a really late night in Nashville. Maybe if they can just suffer through a little bit more rain, we can watch the end of it. That'd be nice. In the NASCAR race around maybe 11 p.m. and then tune in to the IndyCar race. Yeah, it's I don't like when the ruling body or the sanctioning body controls every little aspect. It takes out a lot of the competitive edge. All right, pace car is on pit road. How quickly does Hocevar try to go 3 wide for the lead here? Oh, for sure, Marco. I know, especially in motorsports, throughout the rest of the world, FIA kind of dominates everything. So, Ty Gibbs to the lead. Bell not able to take off. Hocevar and Bell side by side. Gibbs out front. Now Hocevar into second. Bell not able to keep up there. The top 3 are single file. Eric Jones and Tyler Reddick side by side for 4th. Tons of Toyotas at the front. It's only Hocevar up there. This is a great moment of achievement for Dale Jr. because of his work and a lot of money from the taxpayers. We are back racing at North Wilkesboro for points. Rusty's out by the pool. Did it break out the fan and the candles? Yep. I know about the citronella candles. You don't have a big net? I know that's a big thing in Florida. Giant I don't know what you would call them, attached nets. They're attached to the back of the house and they extend over the pool. A screened off area. That's what I would call it. Good to see you, Jason. Hello, family. Happy race day. Hope everyone's doing great. He just got to Trisha's house, went to Dollar Tree, spent $50 on Trisha's sour sop juice. I'm not familiar with the term. Oh my goodness. What is this? Sour sop pulp. Apparently it's really healthy from what these people are saying. We're learning about a new kind of juice. It looks very wild. So Gibbs still out front, stretching the lead over Hocevar somewhat. Reddick and Eric Jones still side by side. You know, I wouldn't be shocked to see Jones run pretty well. He's been running faster recently. Let's say the last 5 weeks, Legacy's really stepped up. And Eric Jones is typically good at the driver-based tracks. How do I feel about Spain winning the World Cup? Good for them. My dog wasn't in the fight anymore. I don't think I have any Spanish ancestry or any ancestors from Argentina, so I have no heritage to claim, no skin in the game. That's very nice, Rusty. I would move down there, but I think everyone else had the same idea. I just keep hearing about how bad traffic is everywhere. and it's just getting worse. And Florida's home to like 2 of the most dangerous interstates in the country. You guys need to learn how to drive. So Jason somewhat had some skin in the game. Said his son that passed away 20 years ago, his mother was Spaniard and Hispanic. I was watching a live stream of people in New York. There's a lot of Spanish people out there celebrating. They had their jerseys on. They were doing a lot of celebratory chants and different dances. Seemed like a good time, but it was a lot of people. I wouldn't be in that crowd. Only time I get into crowds that big willingly is if I'm at a sporting event. Oh, no kidding. Yeah, I didn't think about that. Yeah, I guess mainly that would be feasible, maybe on the Gulf somewhat, but really more so inland. Like a hurricane would just rip it away, I'm sure, unless you had a really good install job. Oh, that's tough to hear, Marco. All right, we're going to commercial break. Ty Gibbs still out front. Not a lot of movement through the field. Bell's gotten back by Hocevar. William Byron up to 11th. SVG top 10. He ran really well yesterday in the truck race. Ended up finishing 3rd. And maybe if we had a caution, SVG might have had something for our leader. He was... Chandler Smith was running really strong, though. He was kind of in a league of his own there at the end. I don't know if SVG will have a shot to win, but I mean, he has been really impressive this weekend, that is for sure. Austin Dillon also top 10 at the moment. Cindric and Byron side by side. Byron may fall back to 12th here. Looks like he did end up losing the position. So Byron temporarily up to 11th and then back to 12th. So Byron not on the move in the right direction. I would not doubt that. A lot of transplants in Florida just exploded in the last 10 years. I don't know how the stats are now, but I know years ago Orlando was one of the largest or fastest growing cities in the country. What is this next weekend? Is it... It's Indianapolis, that's right. Yeah, Jason's going to be all over town next week, reporting to us live from the tracks. Bowman and John Hunter Nemechek. A lot of contact there. Nothing too major. Let's look back through the pack. Blaney up to 28th so far after dropping to the rear. Chastain. I'm guessing he started the race at a penalty. I'm not sure what's happening there. And maybe just can't get through the field. That's interesting. In this first stage, we might see quite a few cars go a lap down. 19-second laps here. And we're already looking at 16 back. 17, really. A lot of these cars could go a lap down in stage one. That's if we don't get a caution here shortly. A lot of racing coming up for Jason. For this, I don't know if you normally take hearing protection, but this weekend definitely take some hearing protection, Jason. It's going to be a lot of racing for you. Blaney's really working this field over right now. He's behind Stenhouse at the moment, but Chad Fincham's also going by. And Bowman's about to be under the gun by Blaney. Bowman not really moving up at all since the start of the race. Cody Ware about to go a lap down here. Gibbs moving pretty well, but check this out. Last lap, 19-1 for Joey Logano. Joey pretty fast. 19-1-5. So I'm guessing Joey has a little clear track in front of him. Ooh, we are 3 wide. John Hunter Nemechek, Chase Elliott, and Denny Hamlin 3 wide. And John Hunter Nemechek around for our first caution on lap 40. Don't back it up in front of the field. All right, that's going to save a lot of the field from going a lap down here in this first stage. If you're further back in the pack, you might as well pit here and try to use these fresher tires. May see a lot of people come down and pit. We were already about a half a second off the pace at the front of the pack. Yeah, I was like, there's no way Chastain has that slow of a car that he couldn't get by Chad Fincham. Thinking he had to have served a penalty. This caution will kind of help Ross. Chad will get his lap back. I think Cody Ware may have just avoided going a lap down. Gibbs taking to a lot of two-tire calls here. Logano first car on 4. McDowell and Shane Van Gisbergen both going to gain on this two-tire call. So early on, we're going to see how two tires fare. Cody Ware doing his job. You know, I give a lot of credit to Cody Ware most weeks. He may be an attractor out there just making laps, but he usually keeps it clean. And I forget who said it. It was may have been on the Dale Jr. download, but they mentioned the horsepower gap between the best cars and the slowest cars, very minimal. Just a few horsepower at the most. It's actually the handling of the car that separates the fast cars from the slow cars. So that includes the suspension setups, that includes what downforce they're able to generate. And so a lot of the guys further back, they're not just dealing with a slow race car, they're dealing with a poor handling race car, which leads to a lot more single car spins, a lot more accidents. So to be a back marker and to bring it home clean most weeks, they don't get as much credit as they might deserve. No hockey jerseys. They wear sweaters. Are you setting up for a joke, or is this a fact? Hockey sweaters. I'm learning so much from Jason tonight about sour sop juice. Never heard of this, but apparently it's a thing, and a very well known thing. Men's league sweaters, men's hockey sweaters. You can actually order a custom hockey. Wow. Okay. So the website's called Men's League Sweaters. And then the ad listing says custom hockey jerseys. That is pretty nice, though. I like these. I should get a channel branded hockey sweater. Golly, at these prices. Single. $300. No, I don't think so. I don't think I need a hockey sweater. Not that badly. Dr. Derp, good to see you again. It was really fun racing last week. Dr. Derp, long-time friend of the channel. No, we do not need an AZtronics hockey sweater. I like those little default designs they had there on the page. That was neat. Let me see if we have a replay. Larson on pit road again. That was... The tire pressure they are running in Larson's car is ridiculous. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Zillage obliterated Kyle Larson on pit road. Oh my goodness. Zillage's bad rookie year continues. I kind of think you somewhat put that on Larson. I think Larson was the car exiting his box, and Zillage was maybe coming in. I'm not sure. Let's see if we have another angle. Yeah, that's exactly what happened. No communication from Zillage's team. I mean, Zillage came in really quick, and it's a weird spot on pit road. but it's on the car exiting to make sure that you're clear. It's not on the car coming into their box to stop, just anticipate you leaving. So that's more on Larson's team as a whole, in my opinion. I wasn't even able to pull up a replay. We'll get a replay up in our next commercial break, hopefully. So Hamlin leading. I'm guessing Hamlin stayed out for track position. SVG on 2 tires. Host of our next car back, but he's holding up a group of very fast Toyotas. McDowell's also out there on 2 tires. SVG looking to the inside of Hamlin. It would be hilarious if he shipped him there. If SVG won today, I would be very okay with it. It would be hilarious. This is about as pure of oval racing as you get, you know, on a short track. Not a lot of banking. SVG to the lead. Add that to my notes. We'll see how this ages. SVG needs to try to run away with it. If Gibbs can get by Hamlin here, we might have a really nice battle at the front of the pack. Right now, Logano, I think he's our first car on 4 tires. He's stuck here in traffic. I have an eye on Joey tonight. Penske guys typically do well on these short tracks. Logano historically is a really good short track racer that hasn't translated very well to this Gen 7 car. Also have our eye on Blaney. Peeking into our top 20 here. SVG over the radio said, "What do I do now?" Oh, thank you, Trisha. Thank you, Trisha. Good to have you here. Yes, King has a history with the Jaeger bombs. That's a shot of liquid diabetes. I know of a guy that got his foot cut off because he drank too much. So maybe stay away from the Jaeger bombs. Shane Van Guggenheimer to the lead. That's right. Jason said Larson must think he's at Eldora still. Yeah, we'll have to see how his car reacts. They brought him back down pit road. But when he was leaving, they had a shot of the left rear tire, and it looked flat. So they must be running an incredibly low pressure to try to make speed here. Bowman falling back on the restart here. Blaney continuing to move up. Whew. We're 3 wide there into the corner. Cindric is in a Rusty Wallace throwback tonight. Now, a lot of people were upset that it's the slanted Ford or the slid Ford number. Kind of ruins this paint scheme. Still looks good, but not as good as the original. All right. Joey getting to the inside of Denny Hamlin. First car on 4 tires. Wouldn't mind seeing Joey get up there. If you told me that a year or two ago, I wouldn't have believed you, but now I'm kind of pulling for him. That's wild to say. Wow. West Germany. That's pretty awesome, Rusty. That's a piece of history. That's crazy lore, Jason. Jason was a lumberjack from age 29 to 34. Gibbs is running down SVG. Just in the last lap, he's already cut a 10th. It's coming down slowly. Blaney is just flying through the field. Blaney wraps the bottom so well at these short tracks. Still need to see what Blaney can do up the track. Especially if you're going to be leading late in a run, getting through lap traffic, you need a car that can handle anywhere on track. Chad Fincham about to go down another lap here. SVG and Chad side by side. Really close. That's going to close Gibbs in quite a bit. 10 laps to go in the stage. Gibbs is in striking distance. Can SVG hold him off for 10 more laps while potentially approaching more lap traffic? They should be relatively safe. 11 seconds. That's a pretty good buffer. Trying to what? I don't know what Steve Letarte just said. So, Marco, when I was over there a couple of years ago, I found one place that sold Dr. Pepper, and it was a USA themed diner, and they also had a American grocery store upstairs above the diner. I believe that was I think that was in Geneva, and it was Dr. Pepper bottled in Spain, I think. The Kiwi Intimidator. I love it, Jason. That's a top 10 Jason comment of all time. The Kiwi Intimidator. He's aggressive. He is very aggressive. So Chastain right now in position for the free pass. Larson, I don't know if he had speed to start with, but he definitely doesn't now. Just still struggling for pace. Bowman continuing to fall back. That's bringing Joey into the conversation. Joey on the fresher tires. He may hold up Gibbs here. And if SVG makes use of this, this may give SVG the stage win. Ty is really pressuring here. He knows he needs to get by SVG now if he has a shot. Logano did not get a good exit out of 4. Two to go in the stage. Gibbs is all over the back of SVG. Gibbs is there to the outside. Last lap of the stage. Who gets off the corner better? Ty Gibbs will take it. Ty Gibbs takes stage 1. SVG almost at it. So Chase up here in the top 10. Byron sneaking into the top 10 here late. They don't really have a ton of pace tonight. We'll see if by the end of the race, Chase can turn this into something. But right now, honestly, SVG is the best looking Chevy out there. Brad continues to move up slowly. 16th here. Austin Dillon barely missing out on a top 10 in stage points. Blaney coming from the rear to 12th. Extremely impressive. I think Chastain's getting the free pass here. Yeah, I was looking back in the pack right before the end of that stage. How about that? Let's see if we can find a replay of that John Hunter Nemechek spin, or perhaps contact on pit road. We may have a replay of that as well. So no video of the contact. So with a little tap from Zane Smith, John Hunter Nemechek around. All this conversation about Zane Smith and Hocevar, I think Zane Smith may be turning into Hocevar. That's a replay of SVG going to the lead. Go ahead and mute this website. So great showing in yesterday's truck racing. We were wondering if he could finish top 10 tonight. And so far, running really well and purely on pace. I mean, this isn't a strategy call. He's just actually up there. And obviously, he had track position to pull this off. But, I mean, he's legitimately running up there with our leaders. Whoa, Ty Gibbs did what? Ty Gibbs narrowly getting by SVG to take the first stage. We have pit stops here. So the guys at the front probably going to have to pay the tire tax here and take 4. Joey going with 4 again. I think SVG might have been a little slow getting into his box. We'll see if that cost him any positions here on pit road. Blaney with that last pit box. See if Blaney can gain some spots here on pit road. Does not look like it. Busher taking 2 there, gaining 9 spots. Yeah, it was a really fun truck race. SVG finishing 3rd naturally, just on pure pace. When you got your TA50 issue, did they give you those giant, extreme cold weather gear? Like the wearable sleeping bags? So they gave me that stuff. And never used it. This commercial just reminded me of that. Yeah, no, I think we just dig a trench and let Canada float out to sea. I hate it. Not Canada. I hate that there are so many Canadians I like. What? There are neighbors to the north. What are they doing up there? You just got to always be skeptical. You can't trust them. Like, would you trust someone that just lives in your attic? I don't know if I would trust someone living in my attic. Jordan says he would fight to gain Canada for the US. I'm just skeptical. I don't know what they're doing up there. All right. We're already logging laps in stage 2. Stage ended on lap 80. We are already on lap 88. Crazy how many caution laps we turn. I'm trying to remember. There was one province that was holding a referendum whether or not they wanted to separate from Canada. Alberta, that's right. Primarily involves the sovereignist movement in Quebec and rising separatist activity in Alberta. Those Canadians, they're up to something. But there are quite a few tourist spots. My sister and her husband spent some time up in Canada recently. So, some beautiful areas in Canada. A lot of wildlife. They have some large cities. The funny thing to me is those Canadians, they'll give us some flack every now and then, but the majority of their population lives right across the border. Sounds to me like they want to be American. They can smell the freedom. Yeah, we got those wildfires going on in Canada, and that's bringing a lot of the smoke down south into the east. The air quality index throughout the northeast region of the United States has been very poor recently, even throughout the Midwest. Speaking of earthquakes, we had a few bad ones a few weeks ago. All right, green flag is back out in the race. Joey Logano restarting up front. Looking strong. SVG going to try to hold second here. We are single file for the first 2 cars. Hamlin and Hocevar are side by side. Hocevar to the inside. Hamlin to the outside. SVG is looking to the inside of Joey Logano. So we're now side by side for the lead. Joey's running SVG pretty close here, not allowing SVG to get a full run off the corner. SVG may have led that last lap. SVG with a slight advantage here. He may take the lead. If SVG can just manage the 1.5s now, we have a fully formed driver. SVG back to the lead. But Joey's going to cross him over. Tried to. He's going to think twice about it. Back it off. Hocevar was able to get by Hamlin for third. So now about the whole top 10 are single filed out. Eric Jones looking to the inside of Austin Dillon. That is 4/10. Blaney's on the move. Woo! Larson making contact with 2 Toyotas. With Ty Gibbs and John Hunter Nemechek. Blaney to 11th, just outside of the top 10. Bowman's still stuck back there in 22nd, not doing very well. Yeah, with all the flack we give, Canada, they were there for us in World War II. They were a part of the invasion in Normandy, which it made sense. They were gonna go help out Great Britain in both World War I and World War II. A lot of good people up there, but I just don't trust all of them. They have the high ground on us, Even near Joey's coming back. Like, Logano looks good up here, but his teammate is coming up through the field quickly. I think Blaney can probably roll the bottom better than Joey can. Gravy's good on fries. They nailed the poutine. But, I mean, what's not going to be good on fries? It's just carbs. It's just straight carbs. It's going to be good. Chase Elliott moving up to 4th. SVG not really running away with the lead. Not gaining any buffer, really. Joey's still there. So I'm wondering if SVG is holding up the field or if he's just used to pacing the field like he does on the road courses sometimes, until he opens it up. Dillon has pace. I'm not too shocked. One of the tracks that I think is more similar to Wilkesboro would be Richmond. Obviously, Richmond has a bit more pace. But Dillon knows his way around Richmond very well. And there's not really a one-to-one analog for Wilkesboro. But that's about the closest you can get. Chase is moving pretty well here. And even Byron's up in the running order to 7th. Brad not really moving in the right direction here. We'll see if he can put it back together. Bowman still not really making much of anything happen. And Larson's still stuck back in the back. Horrible day for Larson. The slide continues. I mean, you could try to just make it yourself at home. If SVG could qualify well at Martinsville, I wouldn't be shocked to see him getting around Martinsville with quite a bit of pace. All right, Bubba Wallace into the top 5 in the Coca-Cola scheme. You know, the Coca-Cola schemes always look good. But that's a World Cup Coca-Cola scheme. There's no chance we're getting a die-cast of that one. The bow tie master plan. We definitely have a lot more diversity up towards the front of the pack. It was pretty much just SVG and then maybe somewhat Hocevar, but now we have Chase Elliott, Byron up here, and the Fords are coming together pretty well. Still just Joey up there, but Ryan's back in the top 10. Buscher's coming up through the field. He's on 2 tires at the moment, so he's doing pretty well for himself on this strategy. Track position still king here. So Joey back to the lead. Let's see if Joey can gap SVG here. Bald Gano. Oh, got jump scared there. The downside for SVG is there's a lot of 1.5s. And no road courses. Right now, SVG is fighting to stay in the chase. Elliott not able to clear Hocevar yet. Stalled out for now in 4th. Blaney looking to make the pass on Briscoe here. Not able to complete the pass there down the straightaway. And Byron's right there. So Blaney could be knocking on the door of Denny Hamlin here soon. Larson a half second off the pace that Joey Logano is laying down. Rough day for Kyle Larson. Oh, I understand, Marco. I'm glad you guys can't see my notes. It's not good. A lot of typos. But it doesn't matter. No one ever sees my notes. I delete them as soon as the post-race is over. Jason texted us 2 pictures. SVG was doing good at Charlotte, so I wouldn't write him out if he makes the chase. I'm not ready to call him a chase contender until I see some top 5, pure top 5 pace on a 1.5. You know, occasionally there's still days where SVG's just P30. And it's just pure happenstance that he's not finishing in the 30s some weeks. He's come a long way, though. He's put in work for it. I heard he was doing legend car races to try to improve on the short tracks. You can't really practice for a 1.5 because the only form of motorsport that really does it is NASCAR. Sometimes I just take a guess, Christian. Especially like, you know, we may be talking about one thing and we move on to another subject quickly. And so I get a message sometimes that's still talking about the last topic. And I get confused. Or I just take it seriously and it's meant as a joke, or vice versa. Jason says SVG needs to win at Daytona or Talladega or Darlington. Darlington for sure. Daytona or Talladega could possibly happen. We don't really know what the race is going to look like at Daytona, though, considering when we go there, we're going to have a brand new package. A little less horsepower and a 3-inch shorter spoiler. And no practice schedule for Daytona, so the drivers won't have any clue what it's going to race like. Exactly, Marco. Blaney's still fighting to get by Briscoe here. He's been moving up very well, but, you know, Blaney's been wrapping the bottom really well. That works very good for him on fresh tires. But the later into the run we go, the more cars migrate to the top, and it's so hard to complete a pass on the bottom late into a run. You can have a half-second slower car hold you up if they're running that high side off the corner well. You can get side by side in the middle of the corner, and on the straightaway, you're not able to make a full run out of the corner and just get stuck there. They're highlighting Josh Berry here. This would be a track that you would think Berry would do well at. A lot of short track experience. Yeah, we'll see how Indianapolis races this year. Hopefully it's a good race. They're highlighting Ty Gibbs right now. Not able to pass his way back up through the field. Track position, really key. Larson's still stuck back there as well. Blaney moved up through the field well. Bowman up one. He was in 22nd, 21st now. A second behind Priest, so not in position to make a pass at the moment. Brad and Ryan Priest still where they were. Not a lot of movement there. Hamlin moving back around Bubba Wallace and trying to make the pass on Hocevar here. Probably will. Using Connor Zilic somewhat as a pick. Hocevar's going to force it 3 wide here. Forced Zilic to back out of it there. So Hamlin back to 4th place. How far back is Kyle? Kyle, at this rate, is going to go a lap down if we don't get a caution here quickly. Chase continuing to move up. Look at the last lap, 2:10s. Faster. We'll see if he can continue that as we run through the lapped cars. Chase's hands. Has some fast hands off the corner. That car may not be handling exactly how he likes it. But he definitely has pace. We'll see if Allen does what he does best and adjusts the speed out of it. And that's not on Allen in this situation. Gordon used to do that a lot. He used to have a fast car. He'd be running top 5, moving towards the lead. And he'd say, oh, I'm loose. I'm tight. I'm this and that. And Allen's like, hey, but we're fast. And then he'd adjust on it, and it would take the speed right out of the car. So we'll see if they can avoid that tonight. Gap at 2.1 right now. Logano a little faster that last lap. Denny might. No, Hocevar. Looking for who has our fastest lap. Hocevar with a 18.77. It's hard to tell because the field's so jumbled up. Reddick's close. I think Reddick beats him by 0.02 of a second. 18.71. So Ty Gibbs probably with our Xfinity fastest lap at the moment. Well, the way he was hugging the corners, Blaney, was impressive. He's a little up the track now that the tires have worn a bit more. But, you know, it's great on fresh tires. It's great that he can hug the corners. But, like we said a bit earlier, if he has a guy who was outside that's getting off the corner well, it's going to be very hard to make a pass. Like if we had a short run scenario towards the end of the race and Blaney's up there, my money's on Blaney. But on old tires, it's going to be tough. Not impossible, but tough. We just haven't seen Blaney go to the high side. And if he wants to get up there on lap cars, he's going to need a car that can run in any lane. You know, you just have to go where they aren't. We saw that a little in the truck race. I think Lane Riggs at times had to go into lanes he wasn't used to, and he would lose a ton of ground to the car behind him. Trisha's upset about Joey being in the lead. I think Chad Fincham might be on pit road. Oh, that's definitely realistic, Jordan. That's one of the few tracks that I drove in the Gen 7 car on iRacing. I didn't race the Gen 7 car very much. But I think somewhere on my channel, you might be able to find a video of us turning laps at North Wilkesboro. It was really fun. You get back on the gas a little too hard off the corner and the rear end would step out. But the slight banking of the track and the elevation changes kind of helped you catch the car. IndyCar's just getting ready to go green. Wild thing is, they'll probably wrap the race before the Cup race does. And one thing I haven't checked in a while is the weather. Let me take a peek at the radar. All right, we're still pretty clear, and the rain showers should kind of dissipate the later in the evening it gets. They're looking relatively clear in Lebanon. There are some storms a bit further north, but they are dissipating the further south they go. Yeah, sometimes I feel a little self-conscious when I walk outside to take my dog out and it's late and I still have my lights on. Oh yeah, Marco. Yeah, check out that those instructions that were just posted in the chat. That should be a pretty good way to see the race. You'll watch the old races where aren't they using the high line, yeah? Yeah, a lot of these short tracks were strictly bottom feeders back in the day. Oh, dear. What's the weather up there in Indiana doing? Pretty quiet up there. What I can see. There's an air advisory. I see that. I haven't run Wilkesboro in forever in NASCAR 25, so I don't remember exactly what I did. I think I just kind of tried to diamond the corners, and you can somewhat use the elevation to your advantage. One corner is downhill, one corner is uphill. So the uphill corner, you can exit a lot faster than you probably should, and you can let the car catch itself on the uphill incline. All right, Elliott falling off a little bit. His car did not hold on. Byron, kind of the same deal. Side by side with Cindric again. Saw this earlier in the race. Can make it all the way. I don't think it's worth it, given how much the tires have given up already. No kidding. I didn't hear about that. Yeah, the other thing, not the more serious thing. That's a funny time to leave that comment. Briscoe's still working on Elliott here. Probably able to clear him there. We're not going to see. Whew. Looks like Brad almost lost it there off the corner. Blaney less than a second back from SBG. Byron and Cindric still... Oh, I thought that was Byron. I'm just used to seeing a red car. Cindric continuing to move up. See if Byron has anything for Bubba. All right, I'll be right back. After I fixed my green screen, I adjusted the values because I was wearing that host of our hat. Much better. All right, I can hear it. It took me a second to get back because I went to grab a Diet Coke, take some ibuprofen, and the Diet Coke I got, the can was soft. I opened it up and it was flat already. So I don't know what happened. It didn't seem like there was a puncture in the can. I heard about AJ having issues. Oh no! Bowman and Reddick. Bowman and Reddick spinning. I'm not sure if they were trying to come down pit road. Bowman with a chunk of his splitter taken out. Oh my goodness. The day just turned south for all of the Hendrick cars. Chase Elliott and William Byron on pit road. I don't know what Bowman was thinking there. That's two Hendrick cars that have taken themselves out today. First Larson trying to clear himself on pit road, and now Bowman. Bad day gets worse. That's rough. Horrible decision there for Bowman. So last week, Larson cost Bowman a chance at staying in the in-season challenge. And now Bowman repaying the favor to the rest of HMS. Chase Elliott, William Byron going to be trapped 2 laps down, potentially. I guess they may be able to take a wave around here, but they're still going to be a lap down. There's a gash taken out of that splitter on the 48. Even when he gets back out on track, I don't foresee him having a ton of speed. But long term, this works out for Brad Keselowski, Ryan Preece. They've been fighting around 20th place. Really just two competitive Chevys on track right now, 97 and the 77. And Larson being shown on the lead lap as well. I'm guessing he stayed out. How about that? Blake Harris officially fired. Yeah. I just don't really know what you do there. If you're these guys that are now trapped a lap down. Unless we get a rash of cautions, I don't see this working out for these guys. That's a definitely a different take on the wave around, Jason. How is that Bowman's fault? He came from the top side. Oh, you're just rage baiting. He's just rage baiting. If you ever see King say anything, that catches you off guard, he's rage baiting. He tries so hard. Do not fall for it. Do not fall for it. And compared to the rest of HMS, I'm not sure what kind of damage Bowman had, but he's not in as bad of a position. Byron really got the short end of the stick here. Connor Zilic just surviving. He's hyperventilating. Every lap he's wondering what's going to go wrong next. I want to hear the radio before I give a final determination there. Bowman was trying to take responsibility for it. That is a large man there on TV. Good crowd there at Wilkesboro. Beautiful sunset. A lot of happy fans. Yeah, this place is packed out. It is a small facility, you know, but man, does it look good with these packed stands. That's how Bristol used to look. Back when they had the full layout, not just every other row removed like it pretty much is now with all these drink rails. Not a single free seat and a 10-year wait list. There you go, Marco. I like that. Did Cody Ware stay out and stay on the lead lap? He did. Cody Ware. And Ty Dillon, too. Also in the same strategy. How about that? And the RFK guys, Keselowski 9th right now. Let's see if they can do anything with it. And Ryan Blaney restarting 3rd. That's the highest 40s restarted all day. Now he's having to run up there on the high side. Not where he's used to being. What can Blaney do up there? Right now, this is just going to buy time for Logano. Blaney's trying to get back down to the bottom. This battle for the lead, the lucky dog, is going to be pretty insane. Look at this. Ross Chastain trying to climb back into it. Ooh, the running order is continuing to shake up. So this is a little glitch. These guys are all 1 lap down. Until 34th. I think all these guys are 1 lap down. So Ty Gibbs right now would be the free pass. That's right, Marco. Ware's wearing them out. Yes. We have a car around. Josh Berry and Briscoe may be involved. That's on lap 119. Ty Gibbs back on the lead lap. Little contact there between Larson and Bell. Bell just up the track. Got into Barry. Briscoe not involved. Oh, dude, King, man. I had 2 chopper gunners earlier. It was awesome. I was really confused the first time it happened on launch. I got my Blackbird, and I was like, wait, I didn't get a Cobra. And I was like, oh, that's right. I put chopper gunner on. And my teammates took 2 or 3 kills from me, and I was really mad. And then finally I got it. It was awesome. Is that... There's no way. I think Jason is spreading rumors. He's spreading rumors. I figured. Oh, AJ's still in it for sure. So this was right before. Bowman coming down from the top lane. I don't think he thought that Reddick had gotten alongside of him. Probably a little deceptive coming off the corner. Reddick is pretty far back. But then, you know, obviously he's coming up the track. Bowman's coming down the track. The distance was deceptive. And Reddick was, you know, you can see he's off the throttle. He was trying to avoid this contact. He saw it happening. Got off the throttle immediately. Really cool detail there. Look at that. Already off the throttle before they made contact. Reddick with the crazy fast reaction time. Ooh. Gregson did a good job of not getting into... Yeah, this Gregson did a good job of not getting into Reddick and Suarez. Pulling back out on the track. And then this is the reason for our last caution. Bell just ran a little wide there and then lost it. You see it back in comes around, or back in starts to slide, front end follows. Just a 4-wheel slide up the track into Bell. And that extra side force just turned Barry right around. And right in front of Briscoe. You would love to see a WRX Gen 7? Well, if Subaru wants to make a V8, they're welcome. I don't think we can have Subaru in NASCAR. for reasons. Engine smoke for Gregson. Interesting. So Barry off the track. Someone's doing a burnout in my parking lot right now. I gotta go watch this. That was weird. I wonder if someone was getting repoed. Honestly, I would have had a better view from this window, but my desk is in the way. All right, Logano back to the lead. Logano putting the bumper to the back of SVG. Hocevar trying to take advantage. Hocevar to the outside. Yes, they were, Jason. That's for sure. They could technically be in the Truck Series. They could, because the Truck Series runs the crate engine. Let's take that down. Let's see. Remember, this is just one lap down. So McDowell back to Reddick, all one lap down. Bowman not too far off the pace, honestly. Really good lap that last time by. There we go. It updated back to one lap. McDowell in the free pass position currently. Byron and Chase are going to have to fight if they want this back. We need a lot more cautions if some of these other guys have a chance to come back together. 20 and the 21 didn't touch. I think they did. Oh, they definitely did, Marco. Now you're the rage baiter. Looking back at the weather, we look pretty clear for now. The showers definitely have dissipated. There is rain in the area around Lebanon, where Nashville Speedway is. So they need to be concerned. The IndyCar race might be in jeopardy of more rain. They're highlighting Cody Ware here. He's doing his job, keeping it clean so far. Really, everyone who stayed out before that last caution with Bowman and Reddick, very fortunate. Chase Elliott working on his teammate here, trying to get around Byron. Right now, McDowell pretty safe. 2 cars in between McDowell and Herbst. And then another few car lengths back to the 2 Hendrick guys. Yeah, he won't be having any berries, which may be safe for him. I've heard berries may have the parasite that's going around. That would be really cool to have a European manufacturer involved. We do need more. We need more manufacturers, not just Dodge. We need another manufacturer back. That way we have more factory teams. A lot more money in the sport. Brad's staying in the top 10. I mean, it's not like there's a ton of cars that, you know, have a chance of going up there and taking it from him. But Brad, I think, won his heat race here for the All-Star last year. Bell's slipping and sliding a bit. No, they're highlighting Keselowski. The announcer curse is going to get him. IndyCar postponed till 3 tomorrow on Fox. Now 3 a.m. or 3 p.m. Jason, I considered Taco Bell like a week ago or so. I didn't go. And now looking back at it, I may have saved myself a lot of trouble. Jordan said Bubba in the Coca-Cola car. Hey, speaking of my Diet Coke. And don't get me wrong, Dr. Pepper's my favorite. But occasionally I will sub in a Diet Coke. I typically have a Monster Energy, but I've been off the Monster Energies. I may only have like one a week now. And you know what? I don't feel better at all. You have Dr. Pepper in your I did have a Dr. Pepper today. I had a bottled Dr. Pepper. And it was good. PM, 3 p.m. Yeah, what a day it could be for Logano. definitely could turn his season around. Who would I want to be sponsored by? It's hard to beat Denny Hamlin's deal with Progressive because it's like there are two companies that activate really well. You have insurance and alcohol. You know, a lot of commercials. And Denny's already been featured in some of the Progressive ads. So that's a pretty sweet deal. Except there's a lot of pressure to run clean because if you wreck, you know, maybe it works as promotion for the insurance company. I'm not sure how that plays. State Farm could be fun. You know, they have a lot of money in their marketing department. I think a nice green car would work. A white, green, maybe some black, like a Publix car. That would be nice, but Publix is a very regional grocery chain. I think we need more green race cars, but green race cars are cursed. So Michael McDowell, still in our free pass position. Chase Elliott able to pick off Byron. Byron falling back a bit more. Yeah, Larson even able to get by Byron. And Riley Herbst going for the pass. Riley Herbst with the free nicotine pouches. Not to be confused with the price. I will assure you they are not free. Keep an eye on this battle for the free pass. Ooh. Did Cody Ware just go a lap down? That complicates things. This is no longer a battle for the free pass position. Cody Ware is now a lap down. And in, I don't know, probably a handful more laps, Ty Dillon may also go a lap down. So they're battling really hard for the free pass, but it's all for naught because Cody Ware is also a lap down. And as they run, Ty Dillon may get our free pass if he goes a lap down here towards the end of the stage. Any sponsor that would let you have day glow colors. Yeah, I mean, that's what you got to consider with your sponsorship. I was first thinking about marketing. Who's going to get me involved, get my name out there, and like who's going to let me be in their branding. Because you get with a bigger company, Coca-Cola, Bubba Wallace, Coca-Cola, Chase Elliott, you're not really the face. Coca-Cola's the face. You know, you could have a deal like Formula One where Google is involved, but you'll never be the face of Google. Google's not going to have you in an ad, you know. So I was thinking about it from that point of view first, but secondary is like, what do you want your car to look like? A SpaceX car would be sick. Black, blue, and white. Think about the cool schemes you could do with SpaceX. A lot of rocket themed or space themed. Have an alternate with Starlink on it. Have a throwback for throwback weekend. You have a Twitter car. Blue with the bird on it. I call the Diet Cokes I've got this from someone else. Someone said they refer to Diet Coke as a fridge cigarette. And I find that appropriate somehow. Marco, I see your comment about your sponsor. That is an interesting choice. Well, the free nicotine pouches are not a tobacco-based product. They are a nicotine product. But Grizzly, they are primarily a tobacco company, but I believe they also have nicotine pouches. No tobacco involved. There was a while we went without tobacco sponsorships in the sport. Gano's still up here leading, and I think he's about to put Ty Dillon a lap down. Yeah, Ty Dillon. Now our first car 1 lap down. Ricky still has a 4-second gap here. So Ty Dillon probably going to get our free pass. Michael McDowell and Riley Herbst, that fight was for nothing. Interesting, Rusty. Interesting. Good luck with that. All right, Reddick going another lap down now. Bowman already 2 laps down. It was already a bad day for Bowman, and it got way worse. Five laps to go in the stage. Ricky is pretty safe where he is. What's the rain looking at? Rain is holding off for the Cup race, the IndyCar race, though. There's rain all around Lebanon right now. So as Christian said, they delayed that until tomorrow. So I'll be able to watch that. Not good timing, Jason, but whenever it happens, it happens. Sometimes it happens at very inconvenient times. SPG trying to hold on to 4th place. Bubba pushing really hard for this extra stage point. 2 laps to go. SVG not able to stay alongside him to use Connor Zilic as a pick. So SVG going to fall back to 5th here towards the end of this stage. All right, Byron just needs to stay on the lead lap here. Well, not lead lap, but he needs to stay just one lap down. So Byron just surviving. Going to stay on, or he's going to stay one lap down. So 3 of the Hendrick cars still trapped one lap down. And Alex Bowman, the caution bringer, back here in 30th. And Ty Dillon will receive the free pass. All right. Let's add that to my notes. Joey looking really strong. I wouldn't give up on Hamlin. Yes, you definitely, you don't want to look guilty. But how do you play it? Do you play it like you didn't hear it? Do you play it like you did hear it, but it came from another direction? I mean, can be hard to play off. Yes, the Coca-Cola paint schemes are pretty much always going to look good. I don't know if I've ever seen a bad one on a Cup car. Immediately point to someone else. The blame game. Just look at someone and just say disgusting. A lot of fast cars trapped a lap down right now. What these guys further back need is they need a quick caution and a wave around. Probably a couple quick cautions. Oh, one image with the Coke car? Okay. We'll pull one up. So that's a somewhat blurry image of it. That is a look at the Coca-Cola World Cup car of Bubba Wallace. I don't think there's any chance that we get a diecast of this. Coke is usually really protective of their branding. Plus, this is also a World Cup car, so that adds in maybe another layer of complexity. I would love to be wrong on that for the sake of Bubba Wallace fans out there, but Coke usually does not permit diecast of their cars to be made because they have a deal with another diecast manufacturer. Little closer on the weather. The cells are dying out, so I'm not too worried. This is why we are not running the IndyCar race. This blob of rain is over the track, so can't run that race tonight. I've been to a Catholic service one time. I went once in basic training out of curiosity. And it was definitely a different experience. Yes, you're Jason. Crispin is also here in chat. All on about Coke and Pepsi Wars. He's chilling with an ice cold zero sugar A&W. Rooting for Todd Gilliland to beat Chase Elliott, so we can see a Ford in the final round of the in-season challenge. Hey, without Kyle Larson last week committing an act of terrorism, Alex Bowman would be going against Chase Elliott right now. And the metric would have been different today as well. So the race probably would not have played out exactly like it has tonight. Look at that. SVG has really shown out the last couple of weeks. I was worried he would drop back out of the chase with a couple of interesting ovals. You know, you have Atlanta. He ran well there in the spring, but it's such an unpredictable track that a big one could have taken him out. But he was able to hold on. That is right, Marco. You guys have the American Pope. Yeah, Reddick, it looked like he may, you know, have had a late season resurgence, and that kind of got cut off. But that may be a good thing. Maybe he can catch fire later. He's kind of like Christopher Bell from last year. Really hot start to the year, and then just nothing. At least this far, nothing. Joey Logano back out to the lead. Ty Dillon, last car in the lead lap. Michael McDowell once again battling for the free pass. Going to be a stout battle. I was about to say stiff battle. It's going to be a stout battle with Austin Cindric. He had been running top 10. And right now, who would have guessed? Kyle Larson, the fastest running Hendrick Chevy, in 20th. Find a way to enlarge my dog. I got you. Here we go. I'm going to apply the growth ray. It only lasts for a few seconds. That would be the perfect name, Jason. Vickers is in the McFiles. He is definitely somewhat involved in the files. The wildest thing was Michael Waltrip Racing being mentioned. All right, Kyle Larson. Let's see if he can catch up to Austin Cindric. And the big thing to watch here is Ty Dillon, the deficit here to the leader. If this gets towards 19 seconds, it doesn't matter what this battle looks like if we don't get a quick caution. We saw that happen on the last run. Michael McDowell and Riley Herbst were fighting for the free pass position, and it didn't matter because Ty Dillon went a lap down. The name rings a bell. I believe I've seen that or some of his stuff. I don't know if I've seen exactly what you're referring to, but I know that name. Yeah, I'm not ruling the Toyotas out of this yet. Logano really ran away with the last stage, but it's a long race. Blaney just not quite getting the drive off he needs to get around Hocevar. It's so hard to make a pass on the inside. We've talked about it a few times today, and it's showing itself right here. Even on fresh tires, it's pretty difficult. And his hands are moving. I wish my reflexes were that good. I'll go ahead and search that one. Still look clear in terms of the weather. Three wide further back. I think Larson was able to get to that free pass position. So late race resurgence for Larson, running really good lap times, but he is still trapped a lap down. He needs a quick caution. Alex Bowman, do the thing. This three wide top, and Just takes out 2 guys trying to get to pit road. Larson's going to have to really drive the wheels off this thing because Ty Dillon is already 11 seconds back. So not only is he going to have to stay where he is, he's going to have to either hope for a quick caution or try to run down Ty Dillon somehow, and then probably Stenhouse. Larson behind a 2-car battle here. Not able to make up much ground. Larson's showing he probably has top 10 speed. His lap times are up there to compete with some of the guys in the top 10, that's for sure. Just doesn't have the track position. Without Bowman hitting from the top of the track, we might have 3 Hendrick cars here. Well, potentially could have 3 Hendrick cars here trying to fight their way in the top 10. Elliott and Byron were hanging around the top 10. Larson probably would have been up there without the pit road contact and may have gotten a free pass already if it wasn't for so many guys already being caught 1 lap down. Blaney looks like he's trying to run down SVG now. SVG still top 5. Three-car battle here for 7th place. Keselowski trying to get the position, and Ty Gibbs trying to still regain the track position he lost after that stage 1 win. Two blue and white cars, Hocevar and Gibbs, went at it in stage 1. They're going at it again here. Gibbs going to clear him here. Yeah, some definite contact there with Keselowski and Hocevar. I love at night. You can really see the flames out of the pipes. If Brad can hold on to a top 10, that would be a huge win. He's had a rough time. Talk about Logano crawling back into the chase. Brad was securely in the chase, and just these last couple months, it has been rough. Have the top 3 pit already? No one's pit yet since the stage end. They'll probably try to run to halfway. They can one-stop this, I believe. 180 laps and a fuel run. So they may try to split this in half. Could try to do it in 2. I don't think you benefit much. You lose more time than you would gain on fresh tires. Oh, that's right about Microsoft, yeah. Bill Gates involved. Yes, these are all real positions. It's still very shaken up because of what has happened with the caution mid-pit cycle. That trapped a lot of cars 1 lap down. Two cars out of the race. Everyone else continuing. Blaney, his car just kind of fell off. I mean, he just has a low side car, and that's not going to get it done today. Ty Dillon probably going to go down a lap here in the next 10 to 15 laps. I could see that happening. Running a 19.7 compared to a 19.3, pretty much a 19.4. Larson has a fast car. He just needs to get back on the lead lap, and he could easily get a top 10. But Larson's going to have to run down Ty for sure. Larson either needs a caution in the next 10 laps or he's just going to have to pedal this thing. If we continue to go green and more cars go a lap down, though, that will open up opportunities for Larson to pass. If we stayed green. All right, a lot of cars making pit stops now. Reddick down pit road. Busher already pit. So some of these guys may be splitting into thirds. Didn't really know if that was going to be a valid option. Maybe some of these guys are gambling somewhat. Some of these guys already coming down. Running a 19.4 right now. That last lap was faster than Joey Logano. Larson's moving, which Blaney was faster as well that last lap. Joey's car's kind of falling back. I said I'm not going to count out Denny. And here he is. Ty Gibbs about to go, not Ty Gibbs, Ty Dillon about to go a lap down. That's going to hurt Kyle Larson quite a lot. Joey Logano complaining about brakes. May need to shift the balance. All right, Joey going to clear Ty Dillon there. That's going to trap Larson. One lap down. And Ricky at a 15.4. Way off the pace. I'm guessing he hit traffic or something upset that car. That is wildly off the pace. 17, he's about to go a lap down. So not only will Larson have to run down Ty Dillon, he'll also have to run down Ricky Stenhouse here shortly. Got to get greedy here. Yes, Bubba's he may have a hard decision to make at some point in this race, especially if we get a restart. Which Bubba, what is my dog? My dog is standing in between a ton of cables that are very important to my setup. This dog. If my setup just goes black here in a second, you guys know who did it. There you go, buddy. Okay, he came back. He came back. Christian said NASCAR needs to figure out a better solution to these cool suits. Cole Cups just broke. Same with Larson. And multiple in the truck race yesterday. Yep. I think it may be just an undervoltage issue. I've heard that said before, that the teams try to run them as lean as possible. And sometimes that backfires. Honestly, if the cars weren't such heat boxes like they are now, a lot of these drivers wouldn't be running cool suits. Especially some of the older guys. They probably wouldn't touch them. Just put giant exhaust fans on the rear window. Just completely cover the rear window with a giant exhaust fan. Just pull the hot air out of the car constantly. That's good to hear, Jason. Oh my goodness, so Larson's suffering right now. Eric Jones, Ryan Preece. Next cars that could go a lap down. They're only 3/10 off the pace, so it may be a bit longer before they go a lap down. All right, Blaney into the top 5. To give my dog another flea bath. SVG was cramping. I know SVG was really exhausted after the truck race yesterday. The only cup race that never happened. I don't know. This would be Jason's 31st Brickyard in a row. That is wild. I hope Zach enjoys it. I'm pretty sure he will. Most people, when they go to the track, even if they're not a NASCAR fan, they understand the appeal once they've been. Yeah, Todd's pretty safe right now. There would have to be a bunch of cautions here for Chase to have a chance. It could be a good battle, or at least a better battle. It could be Chase versus Bowman. I'll never forgive Larson. Even if he's running times that could be competing with the leader right now. Olisavar is going to fight like a dog here. And I have to guess Zilich is on new tires, pulling up alongside Logano. Logano just going to give the position to him. So Hocevar now The first car 1 lap down. That was a wild time for sure, Marco. NASCAR started their season and then had to take a little break. And then, you know, figure out what they were going to do. Frankie got hauled to a local hospital for heat exhaustion. Donovan Strauss had to park his truck. Borderline heat stroke. Good night. Only thing they can do is stop running the car so sealed off. That underbody, especially in this car, traps so much heat. And some of the exhaust is coming out of the top of the car. Top of the hood. I believe it was Chase Elliott said that if you stick your hand out the window without a glove, you can burn your hand from all that hot air. Oh, wow. You were over here during the lockdown. That's crazy. That's right. I mean, that's about the time of year you come over. Interesting, Jason. Sounds interesting. A lot of good skills you can pick up doing that job. All right, Logano putting Chase Elliott another lap down. Looks like Todd Gilliland is safe here. If everything holds, Todd Gilliland moving on to the final round. Are you about to see Suarez get lapped? Yeah, Suarez and Eric Jones going to go lap down here. Ryan Preece, Daniel Suarez probably. I mean, if this thing stays green, you could see Joey probably lap up to 7th. We're almost halfway through the stage, so you're going to see some guys pitting here. And then you'll see some guys try to run long and get their lap back, or get a lap or two back, and just pray for a caution. But then they're going to lose a ton of time to the leader on fresh tires. Oh, that is so crazy, Marco. Probably worse than when Spirit Airlines closed and so many people were just stranded. These guys can pit at any moment. The fuel window is 180 laps. Some guys already came down. They're going to split this into 2 stops, but the majority of the field's going to 1-stop this at the current rate. And we're about halfway through this 3rd stage, so I believe you may see some guys come down. You could potentially see Hamlin try to short pit this and leapfrog Logano. I would not be shocked to see that. Even though, you know, these guys are so packed in tight, it's going to be hard to make up a ton of time on fresh tires if you come out of the pits at the wrong spot and have some lap traffic ahead. So there's going to be a lot of chance here. Really only 3 guys competitive right now. Logano, Hamlin, Briscoe. Eric Jones about to go a lap down. You can see him there, left side of the frame here. All right, we're going to have some final adjustments here. I don't know if you'll see any chassis adjustments under this green flag stop, but air pressures. Can Joey's team hold on this last 100 laps? And the way they designed this Gen 7 car, there's just so much heat. And they would, again, like with a lot of things with the Gen 7, they would have to fundamentally redesign it to stop that from occurring. Hamlin coming down now. That should bring Joey down. Yes, Joey also on pit road. So Hamlin's only going to have a 1-lap advantage. Is that enough to make up 1 second? A lot of this depends on where they exit on the track relative to lapped cars. It was a 9-second stop for Hamlin, according to the TV stopwatch. And a 9.2 for Logano. 2 tenths just there. We don't know who was faster getting on or off yet. Hamlin's made this move before, right behind the leader, short pitting and taking the lead. Joey's got it. Chastain there. That's what I said about the lap traffic. So Hamlin was able to cut the gap a little bit. Our green flag stops are beginning. Who's going to run long here to try to make up some time? Briscoe kind of making a mistake here, not pitting yet. He was the fastest. I heard something about speeding on pit lane. Ryan Blaney, penalty, too fast entering. I think Briscoe may be banking on this to go green the rest of the way. Briscoe was, at times, the fastest car on track at the end of that run, but he probably just gave up a second or two to Logano and Hamlin. Yeah, I don't think Blaney's going to get second now. Poor Aaron Rodgers. Sometimes that switch just goes off. You can be one of the top 3 quarterbacks, and then suddenly you're struggling to have a winning season. Yeah, he has that. I just hate to see veterans go out on such a bad note. Another one, Russell Wilson, Super Bowl winning quarterback. and then can't catch a break. Thought he might have a good deal going to the Broncos and didn't make anything of that. My dog is exploring a lot tonight. Interesting time for Bubba to get loose right in front of Logano, the guy his boss is competing with. So, Bubba Wallace down pit road. These guys staying out. They're banking on a caution. When they come down, they're going to lose 1, maybe 2 laps. Make pictures of the screen. Yes, too late. That only lasted a moment. Yeah, I don't like the run long call there. It rarely works out. It's a gamble for sure. How many cautions so far? Well, the caution counter's broken. We had the Reddick Bowman, stage 1, stage 2. So I think 3. 3? Oh, 4. 4. We had Barry around 4. Did we get another one? John Hunter Nemechek around on lap 40. Okay, yeah, lap 40. Then we had the Bowman thing. Then Barry. And then stage 1, stage 2, 5. John Smith. John Nesmith. I hope I got that right on one of those attempts. Exactly right with 5. I forgot about John Hunter Nemechek going around early in the race. All right, Brad Keselowski down. If we get a caution, they are going to be down some laps, but they will have the freshest tires. So as we start to run laps, if we were... My dog is just explore. I don't know what he's looking for. I said my dog. He looked up here. He knew. He knows. He's just poking around all my important cables. I don't know what my dog is doing, but it's dangerous. All right, Eric Jones finally down. So Logano back to the lead. Hamlin's right there. This feels like a Hamlin race. Hamlin's car was not falling off that last stage. He was staying right around a second behind Logano. Cut a lot of time by pitting 1 lap earlier than Logano. I need to block off those little cubby holes he walks through to get back there with my cables. Yeah, early on, it looked like we were going to have a lot of cautions, but what's happened here is, it starts off really jumbled. And, like a traditional short track, there's a lot of side-by-side, a lot of contact. But if the field is fortunate enough to get spread out, the chances of a caution becomes a lot lower, and it comes down to, can the guys hold on to their cars? Huge stack up in front of Logano. This is actually going to spread the field apart quite a bit. Oh, that was a good chance for Logano, and he did not take the most advantage of it. Okay, this is going to benefit Logano largely. If Logano can get past Ty Dillon here, good run down the track. Ty Dillon could get up there and hold up Logano. Logano making good time right now. Really rolling that bottom well. Logano really stuck here. Ty Dillon flying the ointment right now for Logano. Logano not able to hold the bottom like Ty Dillon is. If Ty didn't lose that track position after stage 1, he could be up here. Yeah, very spread out. The cautions have to happen, unless you're going to get just a car upset late in a run. The majority of the contact cautions come from the first probably 20 laps of a run. The majority of the field tries their hardest to single file out as soon as they can. Herbst drove really close into Logano there. These Toyotas are not playing nice with Logano. He's having to protect from all of these faster 2311 and Gibbs guys that are on fresh tires but a lap down. Good night. I thought Herbst was going to turn Logano for a second. This is going to be a gorgeous race to win car if they don't put confetti all over it. All the rubber on Logano's car right now. Denny Hamlin fan, good to see you. Welcome back, Jason. My phone is at 64%. These guys further through the field, guys on very different strategies. So there's a lot of comers and goers right now. Really a mixed bag. You get a lot of stack ups on track. Clusters of 6 cars or so. I didn't want to say the thing, so I backed out of that. Gibbs, a little faster than Logano right now, but if it flips the other way, he'll have another shot to hold up Logano. Bubba Wallace also 15 back. Another friendly car. Briscoe, if he had pit with the rest of these guys, this would be a 3-way battle for the lead right now. I'm not sure why Briscoe stayed out another few laps. That probably cost him a second and a half. Now he's having to work that back off. I think Briscoe had the best car late in that last run. Now he's put himself behind the 8 ball here. Yeah, the setup's very important for the car. The driver can make up a little bit of the difference, but if the setup's off, all the driver can do is manage. And Larson was the first car 1 lap down at the beginning of the run. He got up in that position. And because he ran so long, ended up falling way back in the running order. Not a good day for the Hendrick guys. Bowman able to get by Chase Elliott. How about that? Hey, things are not all bad for Bowman. He's coming back, guys. Believe me. Yeah, Joey's been very consistent. But you never want to let Hamlin hang around. You never want to let him hang around. He will find a way. So any lap, that 47's toe link could give way. They're talking about it on the broadcast. Gregson's 25th. That's a good day for Gregson. Not too far behind Zane Smith. You always want to be running near a teammate. You don't want to have, 3 of your teammates in the top 10. You're way down here. You see that with some guys. Or like you don't want to have your two of your cars in the top 10 and, you're running somewhere way down here. Just makes you look bad in comparison. Jason said he's meeting with a YouTube/NASCAR hauler driver for HFR for the Truck Series. He's supposed to have a hat for you. Very nice. Gonna meet him on Friday. That's really cool. That is really cool. Not going to be a good point day for Reddick. Hey, Reddick, isn't that the guy who does the voice for Groot? That tree? Got some stack ups here on the track. How many cars would even gamble to take the wave around here? It's pretty late in the race. Or at this point, if you're a lap down, do you just decide you're going to battle with the lap down cars? Watch this Ty Gibbs here. Watch his last laps and watch his interval with the leader. Looks like Logano might be running him back down. I'm not sure. That may just be where Gibbs was in traffic. Wallace, too. That's 2 cars Logano will have to get by that have allegiance to Denny Hamlin. Allegiance, have an alliance, however you want to say it. It definitely could happen, John. I would be worried. We've just seen this happen a lot with Hamlin. Just hangs in there. One thing goes wrong and Hamlin, he's there. You could get a late race restart, anything. Bubba's definitely backing up to the leader quickly. He gave Joey a hard time the last time. A lot of lap traffic, though, in between Joey and Bubba. Joey's going to have to deal with that. Briscoe now falling off. He was cutting the gap, but no longer. I don't know. It's going to take a caution, definitely, for a guy like Bubba or even a Ty Gibbs. That was a really weird line there for Austin Hill out of the last corner. Very nice, John. Yeah, there are multiple times this race we've been hoping for a caution. But it's been a very clean race, and there's nothing wrong with that. Oh my goodness, we almost just had one. Herbst, Cole Custer, and Michael McDowell all came together at the wrong point on the track. My goodness. Right in front of the leader, too. Right in front of Logano. Oh, yeah. I was not surprised to see Ty run well. He just lost track position and, behind the 8-ball after stage 1. Ty's best run, his first best, like when I noticed that he was starting to run better in the Cup car, was Bristol last year, the fall race. He had a really good run there. And, things go differently. Maybe he wins that race. But with Toyota's slight advantage this year, all around on pretty much every style of track, it's definitely given Ty a lot more room to work with. But it took him a few years, but Ty's definitely coming into his own. Definitely a talented driver. You could see it in the Xfinity series. What I'm waiting on, the other guy that I'm waiting to mature into this Gen 7 car is Connor Zillage. I mean, what a year he's had. Very similar to what was happening with Ty Gibbs. Ty Gibbs last year had the worst start to the season. A very Connor Zillage-like start to the season. And then spent the rest of the year gaining those points back and almost pointed his way into the chase. So Ty Gibbs was really turning it around last year, and this year he's, showing it a lot more. Toyota being better is fake news. Yeah. All right, Bubba's getting close. Only 2 seconds between Joey Logano and Bubba Wallace. At a very crucial point in this race. I don't think Logano wants to catch up to Bubba. If he does, that could be all it takes to bring Hamlin back into this. Joey has a lot of cars to pass. That could heat his stuff up. Oh, these gloves are going to sell like hotcakes. I actually had a dream about these gloves. That's a weird thing to say, but I did. Junior was back in a race car. I don't know what kind, but he was in a race car, and he had a new version of the gloves, and they didn't look very much like Bones anymore. I'll need to write that down, Marco. That's a good idea. I was expecting Zillage to win a race this season, but I caveated that with we'll see how he adapts to the Gen 7 car. But I didn't think his year would be this bad. Even in my worst case imagination, I didn't think it would be this bad. Joey right in the heart of this lap traffic. A lot of cars to pass here. Just, if Joey really upset there. Herbst is going to have the advantage off the corner. I don't know if I would try to run that inside very, very much more. Unless he plans on booting Herbst, which could bring out a caution. That's bringing Hamlin back into the conversation. This is exactly what I was talking about with the Toyotas. Exactly what I was talking about. And here it is playing out in front of our very eyes. Joey, a little bump there. Joey might just ship him here. All right, Joey going back to the higher side, arcing it down the track for a really big run here. Yeah, I mean, Joey has no one really up there with him. The rest of the Fords are a bit further back. And there's just, not many Fords in the race to start with. 2 Toyotas ahead of Logano. Also has Bell to deal with. Now, Blaney is in the picture. Blaney could help out somewhat. If this comes back around, they could play some strategy here. Hamlin's right there. Bell to the outside of Logano here. It would be hilarious if Blaney pulled in front of Hamlin. Return the favor here. Because if I'm Logano, I'm getting out of my car and booking a flight to Japan, and I'm getting in a fight with the first person named Toyota. Toyota with a D. The first person I see, it's on site. I'm going to my local Toyota dealership and punching a car salesman in the throat. Say, it's your fault. Joey's saying, I have dominated the majority of this race. Now I'm getting run, very hard by every Toyota in the field. The money says Toyota's not strong on short tracks. I don't know. I see 4 of them in the top 10. They're looking pretty good. And Bell won here in the All-Star race just last year. Interesting day for Bell. I was definitely expecting more out of him yesterday in the truck race. So here it is. Can Blaney set a little bit of a pick here? Or will he interfere? Now Blaney just kind of staying out of the way right now. I think Hamlin was really digging there through traffic, trying to make up that time. He knew that was his chance. Yeah, Blaney just staying out of the way so far. That's the respectful thing to do. He knows he's not fast. Might as well pull out of the way. Five laps to go. So, after this race, we will be going live with our post-race show. So if you guys aren't familiar, we're going to end the stream and we will be switching over to our post-race coverage. So I hope to see you guys over there after this stream ends. It should automatically ask you guys to transfer over. We'll try to keep this one short if we can. But if you would like to hop in there and leave your comment after we do our race recap, I'll read all your comments, thoughts on the day. One lap to go. Brought to you by Credit One Bank. With a beautiful, clean race car covered in rubber, Joey Logano will take the Window World 450 at North Wilkesboro. Jeff Gordon is no longer your defending race champion. Here it is, Joey Logano, the perfect comeback to his season, and pulling off a top 5 finish, Shane Van Gisbergen, and staying in the chase. A great day for SVG. What's the link for the post-race? Well, it should automatically ask everyone that's in the chat to transfer over, but I'll try to find it. Post-race show. I'll post the link to the post-race in the chat. But we'll go ahead and wrap things up here, I guess. And I'll see you guys here very shortly over on the post-race.